Welcome to EnglishX on ICRT, brought to you by MandarinX and Vine Education Company. EnglishX is where managers learn to discuss international business topics in English and to start thinking more like a boss.
欢迎收听 ICRT EnglishX， 每周四早上由中文课和葡萄藤国际语言训练中心特别企划，让您掌握全球商业趋势。
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to EnglishX, and we're here to get your day started right, thinking in English and thinking business.
I'm super excited.
Why? What's that?
Computex.
Well, what is Computex?
Well, Computex is only the largest computer trade show in the world, and it so happens to take place directly across the street from our office.
Okay, so
basically all the big computer tech brands have exhibitions here, and they show off all their new products for the new year.
It's a place for big computer nerds.
Exactly. It's a big place for us nerds. So today we're going to talk about tech in the workplace. And today's episode is actually for lower English levels, so you won't get into any big computer geeky details.
Good, because it fits my level when it comes to technology talk. I am a super beginner.
Hot topic.
Improve your English as we discuss real-world problems many English students have at work.
让我们看看这礼拜有哪些热门国际商务话题。
I've always had a question.
Yes.
When it comes to technology. First off, what tools do we use at work?
No, you got to have the basics. Any job you get into these days, you have to learn how to use a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to learn how to use a smartphone. And specifically, you have to be, there's some apps. Nowadays we call them apps. Before they were called programs, computer programs.
Mm-hmm.
Now we call them apps because that's how you install them on your cell phone. But you must know the basics. Word processor, like Microsoft Word.
Okay, I know that.
PowerPoint, Excel, and email. Those are the four basics that you must know how to use very well.
It's very funny. When we first started the business, I only knew how to use Microsoft Word.
Yes.
Really, that's it.
Yeah.
And I was just getting, in email I kind of knew.
Yeah.
But even then I was still very much what we call a newbie.
Yeah.
So it was you who introduced me and showed me how to work, how to use. It was you who introduced me to
InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, all those things.
Yep.
And you know, the more advanced, okay, yes, you do have to use those. But if you just work in a regular office, you have to know how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and email. So basically, learn how to type and write on a computer.
And that's one of the first classes I teach some of our younger students, is just learning how to type quickly.
Yes.
Because up until high school, even university, I was still using a typewriter.
Okay.
And I was typing like one finger
at a time,
and it would take forever.
Exactly.
And so it took me several years, just to learn how to type without looking at the keyboard.
That's one of the first things that you need to learn. So the nice thing is there are a lot of websites out there that have typing games. So you just Google typing games and you just practice 5-10 minutes and you get faster and faster. And I type very fast, and it's always funny because when I'm on the phone and I'm typing, some people think that I'm like playing a game or just doing nonsense. They don't really think I'm typing that fast.
Yeah.
So I know you get frustrated because I make a lot of typos. I make a lot of typos just because I'm typing so damn fast.
The speed,
And I just don't even stop if I make a mistake because I'm too busy in the middle of my text. So if everyone, well, no, you're driving now if you're listening in your car.
Don't type.
But don't type right now. But if you have your keyboard, and look it down on your keyboard, you see that the F and the J have these little keys, these little bumps in them, right? Those bumps are there because they're for your index finger. So you basically just put your index fingers on that. Your other fingers will rest on the other keys. So let's see how I'm doing right
naturally,
there. Just naturally. And this way you can reach every letter on the keyboard just by moving up and moving down. So I can't play a piano, but I can type. So you have to learn the basics, and you have to learn how to type.
And then I think that a thing that helped me to type and learn how to do it faster was getting involved with the internet. And I I think the first one I was using is AOL, AIM, instant messaging. So instant messaging people. First time I discovered that, that's when I really
Don't
had
date yourself now.
I was. It was just like first time getting into like a chat room or we call
They don't even have chat rooms anymore.
Yeah, they don't have chat
That's
rooms
how much
anymore.
it's evolved. Yeah. So nowadays we're up to internet and email, and basically that has definitely changed the way our students do work and the way basically everyone does their work nowadays.
So how does it change?
Basically, you're in constant communication because of the internet, right? So before we used to like actually have to mail stuff to people,
Right.
and then it'd take weeks before you get a response, or you'd have to fax it, and then that gets a little that became a little faster, right? But now you have email, and I know many of these fancy companies out there with lots of money and deep pockets, they actually give their employees smartphones. You know, they'll give you an iPhone to use, and you as an employee may feel, oh, my company gives me an iPhone. No, there's a reason that your bosses and your companies are spending this money, because once you have one of their phones in your pocket, that means you have access to email and your work tools. So
you're doing a lot of work outside of your work hours.
basically, yes. You have to make it more convenient and secure and safe and all that stuff. But basically, it just means you're in constant communication. So you see a lot more email. You at times have to bring work home with you because your phone is right there, and that is your company phone.
Yeah, not sometimes, all the time.
All the time, all the time. Yes, yes. But you know, that's the negative, that you can always be reached by your boss, by your clients. But one of the positives is that you have so much access to data on the internet. You have Google. You know, you don't have to go to the library anymore. You don't have to look things up in an encyclopedia or
that would have made studying as a student so much easier.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah,
oh, man, if we had Google,
I was still using Encyclopedia Britannica. I had to use that for my information.
Or just even think maps. Like you used to have to print out map directions,
right?
Or you used to have to like know which way is north, south, east, west. Now I guarantee you, if you stop someone on the street and ask them which way is north, they'll have no clue. Right. Everyone's just always looking out there. Oh, let me just type in the address and I can go where I need to go. So all of that has the internet has definitely made that much easier for us.
Right. Well, how will 5G, because this is something I've heard recently a lot in the news.
Yes.
5G. So how will 5G change the way we use the internet?
Well, let's first define what is the internet. The internet is just basically computers talking to each other, right? And there's a certain speed that they talk to each other. So right now, everyone has their internet connection at home that comes from this magical box that connects directly to your computer through a cable, and that's the internet, right? And it's very fast on your computer. And on your cell phone, you're always connected by 4G, right? Yeah. So that's the speed that it connects. So you always know that your home internet is always faster than the internet on your phone. Right? So now the new technology that's coming up is 5G, which basically makes the internet connection speed on your cell phone is faster than your internet connection at home. So your phone's internet will basically be faster than the internet at home and in your office.
How about the internet at home? Will that also be transferred into?
No.
That stays.
That will probably be forgotten because everything will just be connecting through 5G, and that allows a great thing called IoT, Internet of Things. Right. Basically, Internet of Things means the communication devices to give your watch internet and give your telephone, your washing machine
appliances,
internet, your appliances, give everything will become smaller and cheaper and faster. So they'll all your devices will basically be able to talk to each other.
So my refrigerator could be connected to the internet.
Yes, your refrigerator is already connected to the internet, and same thing with your toaster and everything, and it can all just be worked together seamlessly through one network, because now you don't need computers to talk to each other. Now any device that you have will be able to communicate with each other, and this helps us with cloud computing, which cloud computing is just basically all your memory is saved and you can access it anywhere, and machine learning algorithms like AI. So to make AI less complicated, you just think of music. So you know, like you like Weezer,
Right.
Right? So if you tell your device, right? You don't even need a computer anymore. A device.
Like a home speaker.
Anything, yeah. You tell your computer, I like Weezer, and it'll automatically find all the songs that they think that you like. And then the more information you keep giving it, the better it can read your mind. Yeah. So basically, I can go home tonight and say, I sit down and I just say, play something relaxing, and it knows the music I like, and it searches through all my music and says, what is the music that Russ likes that is relaxing, and it'll play that for me.
And do it fast.
And do it fast. And do it with 5G, it'll do it much, much faster.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
And so what else is happening in the future?
The future, another exciting new technology that I saw a lot at Computex is AR, VR, and MR.
What is AR, what is VR, and what is MR?
So the media is doing a very horrible job of explaining what these three things are. And all you tech companies, if you work at a tech company and you work in the marketing department, please call me, because your marketing is also giving consumers horrible messages because they're not explaining these things properly.
Okay.
So let me try to explain it properly. VR is virtual reality. So virtual reality, they're kind of like, they've had this for a while. It's basically these headsets that you wear.
I've seen those.
Yeah. So you basically put that around, and you can sit here, you can put this headset on, and it puts you in this virtual location. So it basically changes everything around you. So you can put that on, and all of a sudden you push a button and you're at the beach, or you're on a roller coaster, or you're somewhere far away.
And right? I know that's great for playing games.
It's great for playing games. It can change. It basically can change your surrounding. And you just sit and you just look around. Oh, this is cool. And you can look in 360 degrees, look around everywhere, and just see stuff. Right? That's VR. Now we have something called AR.
Okay.
AR, it's very famous because of Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go has AR. So what AR does, instead of putting you in this fake world, it reverses. It puts fake items in your real world.
Like Pokemon.
Like Pokemon Go. You can see the Pokemon walking on your table, or in the park, or in your office, wherever they are. So do you see how they mix the two together?
Right. It's like a... They flip it.
They flip it. And for that, usually you need a device. So you're holding up your cell phone or your tablet to try to see what.
And you're not wearing anything with AR.
You're just seeing it through your device, some glass, something. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what So that's what the AR is. Now
augmented reality.
Augmented reality.
And MR.
MR is the marriage of the two. So MR is mixed reality. So what you're doing in mixed reality is you are putting on some sort of device, but it's not taking you to another location. It's putting virtual items where you are. So I can put a headset and I'll still see this table. I'll still see this office. I'll still see you. But on top of you, the AR will change your face, or will add something to you, or we'll put devices on, or we'll put things on this table that aren't really here.
So what's the purpose of adding all these items onto the table?
A million purposes. Now, I've been playing with a Microsoft HoloLens, which is really, really cool. And Microsoft, if you're listening to this, please send me some devices. I could think of some great educational uses for it. So I was playing with that, and they basically have great medical uses where like a doctor can examine a patient, like a real body, and it just
so he's looking at the real body.
You're looking at the real body, and then they can put like, oh, this is what phase 1 cancer looks like, phase 2, phase 3 on the real body. Or they can take a heart and you can see the heart in 360 degrees and move around it and open it up, and you do all sorts of cool stuff with it. Yeah.
So it's starting to feel like almost like a science fiction movie coming true.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, we're already there as far as we know. Like, just the fact that when I go home, like my entire home is a smart home, so I don't have to touch anything. I just, turn on the lights, turn on the TV, play Netflix, everything's like that already, and it's just going to become better and better.
Doesn't that make you lazier? You're just sitting there, you're not moving, you're just telling, you're not getting up to turn on the lights, you are instead.
You don't know how amazing it is.
Yeah.
Like basically like my house in Kaohsiung, like I don't have that there.
Yeah.
So man, at night I'm sleepy, I'm playing on my phone. Oh, I have to stand up and like turn off I have to look for a remote, you know?
Right.
You know that problem when you're where's the remote? Because you want to change. I don't need to do that anymore,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So the future is very exciting. But what does that mean at work? It means you have a lot more available for you at work. And
So it's going to open up a lot more functionality. Like
yes.
But that means it's adding more. Does it mean it could be possibly adding more types of work into your daily tasks?
Well, you know, part of training is always evolving. So us as employees will have to evolve and learn how to use these new technologies. The nice thing is the new technology actually makes things easier to learn, not harder.
Okay. And I know none of this is free. So how will people pay for these online services?
Well, the big thing with technology and payments is online payments, mobile payments. Unfortunately, our hands are tied because it's not up to the public. It's up to financial regulators. So it's up to the government to say, okay, what options are available for the public. It's up to the banks to free up these options. For example, we've been struggling forever to try to get our students to be able to pay by credit card online.
Right, that's one thing in the education sector here in Taiwan is there's a lot of government restrictions that make it more difficult for companies like ours to have our students pay in that way.
Yeah, and I understand the reasoning behind it, but honestly speaking, Taiwan has fallen way behind in this because all the amazing things that are safe and secure that are happening around the world, in US, I mean, in China, in Japan.
Now, is it that safe in China? I know they're a little bit more advanced, but what I hear is that they're just letting it go, and there's not a lot of restrictions, but that also means there's a possibility of things not being secure.
There are a lot of scams and there's a lot of identity theft.
Right.
But that's true anywhere. My counter to that is there's a lot of stupid people.
Okay.
you know, because sometimes, like I remember one of my ex-girlfriends, she bought an iPhone for 3,000 NT dollars, and she saw it online, and she bought it, and she sent the money, and they never sent her an iPhone, you know, and she was very angry about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, obviously, come on, you're not gonna get an iPhone for 3,000 NT. So there's ways to prevent that, and I know the government's trying to do a great job of preventing us. The government is trying to do a great job of keeping us safe. But at the same time, they're falling behind the rest of the world when it comes to online payments like Apple Pay, Google Pay, Line Pay, EC Pay. Like, for example, people that have Line Pay, one of the struggles of the Line Pay is like there's actually 2 types of Line Pay, and people don't even know that.
No, I have no idea.
And that makes it confusing for everybody, right? So if things are confusing, nobody will use it. And then once the adoption rate is low, then the companies won't want to invest in it. So why would a company want to invest in something to help if the users will be so inconvenienced by it? The whole point of this is to help you.
So it's creating the ecosystem here in Taiwan is creating a lot of late adopters then.
Yes.
Like myself.
Yes.
Right.
The opposite of late adopters is early adopter. An early adopter, like myself, is someone who sees new technology and buys it and tries it out immediately.
Someone who's very tech savvy.
Yes. So that's what's happening. And in the workplace, basically, technology is taking over the workplace, and we have to adjust and learn. But you know, there's 2 sides to this, and I like your side because you said it yourself. When we first opened this company, you were not tech savvy, and I still wouldn't call you tech savvy, but you can do a lot of cool stuff on the computer that you couldn't do before.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you have the patience, for you kind of had to, right?
I'm kind of forced to. Yeah. But actually, I'm so glad that I had to. I was forced to. One, it makes me feel I'm more, I guess, logged in.
Yes.
Like plugged in. Yeah, feel more plugged into the world, and that I'm moving at somewhat of the same pace as most of the other people in the world. You know, I'm not typing with one finger anymore, by the way. But just doing simple things like what we consider simple now, like using an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Right. Those are things I never learned in school, never learned in university. I had to learn it on the job.
Yeah.
And in being forced to do it because we had to do, let's say, salary payments and salary sheets.
Dealing with accountants and all that
creating
stuff.
reports. Yeah. Things like that, you're kind of forced to do it. And I'm so glad that that I had to.
Yeah, so that's something that the public out there should keep in mind, that even if you're not tech savvy, there are things that you can learn. And it's actually not just that difficult, it's just thinking a very different way.
And it takes time. It takes some time. It takes a lot of practice, some repetition, but it's possible. If I can really work on a computer,
he really was typing finger by finger like this.
Yeah. And it's just things like, just so silly and so, so obvious. Just like I'm just banging on the
the computer.
I'm bringing on the hard drive. I was like, why is it not working? And you say, oh, did you plug it in? Oh no. just so silly, so stupid actually. So I would say that nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So you can learn, and for all you tech savvy people out there, help your peers. Right, help your peers,
and have patience. I know that probably bothers a lot of tech savvy engineer types, having to explain what they feel is very simple, but for the layman like myself, it would be it's like we have to be given baby steps to figure out how to work something.
And we have to be clear, because I know a lot of tech people, when they explain stuff, they're not very clear.
They use a lot of big
tech
lingo,
words. Have all this lingo that we use when it's just, like the X in the top right. You don't have to like make sure to maximize your screen. Just push the square at the top right, Okay.
Hashtag like a boss. Each week we talk to real world bosses to find out their secrets for success.
现在到了每周 EnglishX 访问时间。
Okay, May, we're talking about tech in the workplace. So what kind of apps do you use to communicate with your team?
Like usually we use Skype for to communicate with my coworker, and it's kind of like old-fashioned way. It's pretty tradition. But as I know, like there are so many people or so many other clients, they start to use something like that line. About overseas, like many people start to use like something like WhatsApp.
Okay, so WhatsApp and Line, and traditionally using Skype. Skype, okay, good. When it comes to office use, what kind of troubles do you run in with Microsoft Word and Excel?
I think the biggest issue I face right now is because I use Apple, like OS system, and most of my colleagues, they use like Windows. Okay. So when they send me files, sometimes I cannot open it. So we kind of like face some software compatibility issue.
Okay, compatibility. And do you use any cloud storage or cloud networking?
Yeah, sure. Like we use something like Google Drive and Dropbox.
That's to share files?
Yes.
Do you do it internally or externally or both?
Both, but mostly internal.
Mostly internal, okay. And what kind of IT issues do you have in the office?
Yeah, as I say, that the software compatibility is the biggest issue like we face right now.
Okay. And do you prefer working on a desktop like these or a laptop?
Yeah, usually I have to work like over 8 hours a day, so I prefer like using desktop because like for laptop it can have overheating issues. Okay. Yeah, and also I like bigger screen.
You like working on a bigger screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. How can we learn more about Anacomda?
Yes, Anacomda is kind of like a new brand, but actually our company is established for 25 years ago. So we try to provide a better quality but accessible price to players. So like for everyone can enjoy like gaming, for gaming world, so for everyone.
Good. And we can go to your website, anacomda.com.
Yes.
That's with an M, right?
Yes, M.
Why
Anacomda? Because M stands for memory. It's like Anaconda swallow memory inside, the Anaconda's belly.
Okay, good. And what are you doing for Halloween?
I think I'm gonna dress like
in black, probably.
Probably.
She always wears black. And what do you want for Christmas? What do you want Santa to bring you for Christmas?
Maybe a hot guy.
A hot guy? Like, what's your type?
Muscular.
Muscular?
Yeah, muscular and tall. And he doesn't have to be rich, but he has to be billionaire.
Doesn't have to be rich, but a billionaire. Okay, remember that. Okay. New Year's resolutions?
New resolution, yes. I hope like there are many more and more people to know Anacomda and maybe find a boyfriend. Yeah.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. With the presidential election coming up, what issue is most important for you in Anacomda?
Important for me in Anacomda. For my personal, I hope like Taiwanese people like we can bring everyone like together because right now I think there are so many people have different ideal. Yeah. Like kind of like falling apart in the whole country. So I hope that
unity.
Yes.
With everyone. Okay.
Mailbag. Do you have a question? Well, we have answers. Email us at englishx@vinec.com or on the web at vinec.com/englishx.
有任何问题，欢迎发送到 EnglishX@vinec.com 或者到葡萄藤网站 vinec.com/englishx.
We have a question from Jay in Taoyuan. He asks, how can I improve my email writing?
Excellent question, Jay. You did a great job just by writing this to us.
First step, yeah.
That's always the first step that we say. You did a great job writing to us. How can you improve your email writing? There's a secret to email writing, and we don't have time to get into it. Maybe we should do an episode just on business email writing.
Right.
But basically, you want to keep things simple. That's the first step. Keep things very, very simple and have a clear structure. So the basic structure for email is the very first thing that you write in the email is you're explaining why you're writing.
Your purpose.
So basically it'll be something like, Dear Russ and Ting, or Dear EnglishX, I have a question for you. Right? That's the first sentence. You're literally writing why you're writing. The second sentence you can get in detail. You can put all the data, all the information, and everything. And the third and the final thing that you should say in all your emails is, what is the next step? What do you want that person that's receiving this email to do? So if you want me to answer your question, say, please answer my question on the air.
Right. So the third part, you're really making your request.
You basically telling the other person what you want me to do. Answer my question, send me this document, forward this to your boss, talk to Helen about it. Say exactly what you want them to do.
And there's phrases you can use, which you can always learn. We'll probably get into that in the future. And another thing I would like to add in improving your email is you're going to receive email from other colleagues or maybe managers or other people from abroad. And really look at the way they write it. And it's okay. Copy and mimic some of the phrasing that you felt really expressed, that express something very clearly. There's a lot of good phrasing that people use in the West that they may not use regularly here. Right?
Maybe keep a notebook near your desk to write down some expressions that you hear and you like.
Yeah, and then you can start using it yourself. And I'd say just copy someone who is a native English writer.
Okay. Next question. I'm super excited. This is Naomi from Osaka. So we actually have some Japanese listeners now.
I'm surprised.
Nice. Naomi asks, can I improve my English in Taiwan?
You can improve your English anywhere in the world.
Oh, I'm not sure if Naomi is she's from Osaka, but I don't know if she's living in Taiwan or living in Japan. But if you're here in Taiwan, you probably came here because if you live here, you're probably here because you're studying Chinese.
Right.
So I know even with my Japanese friends here in Taiwan, there is a community of Japanese people, but it's not that big.
Right.
So if you do have other foreigner friends and maybe some of the people in your class, they are also foreigners, and most likely even if they're not Western, they're not from like the States or England, you communicate with them in English. So you can improve your English in Taiwan by practicing. The more people you speak, the more you're in that environment, the better it is. So
and how do you get into how do you build that community? How do you find other people to speak to?
They're all over the place, especially if you're at a university. There's lots of international people studying there.
Now, there's a lot of people doing language exchange. What is your view on doing language exchange? Not necessarily a program, but finding someone to just do language exchange with one-on-one.
As long as it stays on language exchange. My experience with language exchange has mostly been dating.
Yeah, so that's what I hear. That seems to be the underlying kind of what do we call it? Is it the stereotype or just what we know it as?
I don't know how we would call it, but I just know that many times it was like 90% me speaking English, 0 Chinese. It depends on the language exchange area that you go to
and the partner. Yeah, find someone who really just cares about the language itself and keeps it on topic and not about other things.
Not about dating.
Yeah, not getting too personal.
Not about dating or hanging out with friends, because you know, if you want to really study, then you study, right? So it's all about your own internal motivation.
The next question comes from Joe in Taipei. He is 52, so he says, I'm 52 years old, and can I still learn English at my age?
There's the expression, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I disagree with that expression. Yes, Joe, you can still learn English. There's no age limit to learning a language. There's no age limit to learning anything. So you can always improve your English. You can always learn English. Don't ever feel that age is an issue.
Yeah, as long as you have a clear purpose and
drive,
a drive and innovation, drive and motivation, then you can accomplish it. So
we have a few older students, and they usually come here in the afternoons because it's a break from their morning and evening routines, and they just like discussing life, and they save it for traveling. You know,
they one comment was they were retired. My oldest student, she was 82, 82 grandmother, and
for their grandson, for the kids.
No, she wanted to learn routers, Bloomberg.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
Right, because she was investing, and she had a lot of investments. So she really wanted to read up on Western articles related to the stock market. Yeah,
we had a couple grandmas too that were just so she can talk in English to their grandkids, because their grandkids and her kids and grandkids lived in the States, and when they would come to Taiwan, she wanted to be able to communicate with them. Yeah. So as long as you have that purpose, that drive, there is always room to learn.
Yeah, so you can do it, Joe.
Get inspired. Here are some quotes to help you think more like a boss.
现在来讨论学习动机。
Okay, I have a great quote. This comes from my math teacher in high school. He was awesome. He was really, really funny. And he had a lot of these great expressions. And back when we were doing trigonometry and calculus in high school, we were allowed to use TI calculators, some advanced graphing calculators.
I remember those.
Yeah. And basically, many students felt just by using this fancy calculator, they'll be able to get the right answer, but they'll still get the answer wrong, even though they're graphing it perfectly on it. And he used to always say, listen, computers are stupid, or calculators are stupid. They only do what you tell them to do. So just because you enter in 7 times 7, right? That doesn't mean it's going to give you what you want. It's going to give you what 7 times 7 is exactly. Right. So you have to be able to tell the computer cannot read your memory, right? Computer's just going to do exactly what you tell it to do. So I see many people when they're using the computer and they're like clicking a bunch of times.
Or banging. That's what I do. I bang on it, thinking that's going to solve the problem.
It's not working, and then just clicking it a bunch of times. All the computer is seeing in that is you're clicking a bunch of times, and then you're asking, oh, why is it so slow? And well, because it's processing all your clicks, right? And so computers only do what you tell them to do, not what you want them to do. So in fact, they're very, very stupid. So always look, okay, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish, and how can I do it?
So is that another way to say there's no such thing as a stupid computer, just stupid people?
I would not say that, no.
Okay.
And your quote?
My quote is from famous philosopher. We know him as Homer Simpson.
From the TV show The Simpsons.
Yeah, and his quote is, "The internet? Is that still around?" And this is how I feel, because not so much that I don't know the internet's around, is that I am a very slow adopter to new technology. The way Homer is slow to a lot of things. And that sometimes it surprises us how fast it moves.
Yes.
And like how advanced it's gotten. And that we always feel, there's always a part of me that feels I'm always going to be behind it with that. Right. So I have this, I just like the quote because I feel like Homer Simpson when it comes to technology. That I think Homer's not considered the smartest guy, right? And I don't consider myself very stupid, but when it comes to technology, I'm imagining donuts, not zeros and ones. So that's the quote I chose.
Okay, excellent. And like Joe said, is there can I still learn English even though he's older? Of course you can, and just like any computer stuff, you can learn it. Just need patience, sit down and doing it. Right?
It's true. It's true.
Fast words. Let's discuss some new words and expressions so we can be more like a boss.
让我们回顾一下今天有哪些重点单字跟片语。
All right. I'll go first. You often seem to pick first. Boom, break the bank. Okay. Great expression for today. Break the bank. So I'm an early adopter, which means I like to buy technology when it's new.
Yeah.
And when it's new usually means it's expensive. So sometimes I buy something, that new processor, that new motherboard, that new graphics card, it's going to break the bank. Means too expensive, it will break my bank account.
So you're gonna go broke.
I'm gonna go broke by buying expensive items.
What product really broke the bank for you?
Recently?
Yeah.
All my 3D cameras. 3D VR cameras.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that broke the bank.
My quote is bread and butter.
Oh yeah.
Bread and butter. Now, bread and butter is a staple of most dinner tables in America, right? It's just like rice in Taiwan, right? You're always going to have rice or noodles. So in the US, you're always going to have bread and butter.
Just think when you go out to eat to a restaurant, they always bring you a piece of bread, toasted bread, before your pasta arrives.
Now, how is this used outside of just the dinner table? Your bread and butter is your go-to, your standard, your typical, your regular thing that you can always go to. It could be a skill, right? Like maybe for you, programming is your bread and butter. So any programming questions, I know to ask you. And when it comes down to, let's say, PS4.
Yeah, PS4 is your bread and butter.
I'm that's good, and I'm
bread
really
and butter
good
is your specialty, what you're good at, and bread and butter is your specialty, what you're good at, and mostly what you will get paid for. So you get paid for bread and butter. I don't like teaching, but seem to be a good teacher. People seem to pay me for classes, so teaching is my bread and butter.
So find your bread and butter.
Bite the bullet. To get something over with because it's inevitable. Bite the bullet. So when I first lost my job, and before we started this, I took a 2-month job at a kindergarten, and every day, bite the bullet. I just needed to wait until we opened this. So in the meantime, I had to make some money. So I had to bite the bullet and teach kids.
So it's doing something that you don't particularly enjoy so much, but you just have to do it.
I just have to do it. I have to bite the bullet and do it. Yeah.
Okay. And there's a lot of tasks in the office that are no fun, very repetitive and routine, but it's something you still have to do. So you just got to just be quiet, shut up, and just do it. You have to bite the bullet.
Exactly.
Next phrase is break a leg. Break a leg, in short, just means good luck. Yeah. In Western culture, saying something bad actually means good, and saying something good. So even telling somebody good luck is actually kind of in a way giving them bad luck. So I would
jinxing them.
Yeah, I'm jinxing them. So I would never tell someone before a big presentation or some kind of performance to say good luck. It's actually bad luck to say good luck. Instead, I should say, hey, break a leg.
Blow off steam. Blow off steam. So, Ting, you play PS4?
Right.
A lot?
Less recently, but yeah, I do.
So sometimes Ting is frustrated by something, so he needs to blow off some steam. Blow off steam means you just need to relax and get all this frustration, anger, all you just need to let it out. So you blow off steam. Maybe you're really angry, so you go for a walk to blow off some steam.
Some people go to the gym.
Some people drink,
take boxing classes just to like hit something.
Yeah.
Is there a way to kind of just relieve that pressure? So blow off. You have many ways to blow off steam. So what is your way to blow off steam?
My way?
Yeah.
Eat.
I
don't really blow off steam. I don't know.
I think you just go back into doing something. Like you get immersed into something.
Yeah.
That's the way you blow off steam.
I sit in front of my computer for a couple of hours doing some geeky things.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I do to blow off steam.
Yeah, so audience out there, ask yourself, what do you do to blow off steam?
Once again, thank you everyone for watching. Subscribe on YouTube If you're listening to us on podcast, subscribe to that as well. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, everywhere you get your podcast from.
And also make sure to visit our website at findec.com/EnglishX. And to keep your questions coming, we really do appreciate it every week. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.